Who is it and where is it potentially even as high as number 2 that someone goes up to get Tua?
It's a possibility. I think 3 and 4 is much more likely, if you will. The Dolphins are sitting there at 5, and from everyone I talk to and people I trust, they really love Joe Burrow. But they know that they're very unlikely to be able to go up and get him. They also have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, 3 in the first round, and then 6 picks in the top 70 overall this year, and they want to be able to use those picks. So maybe they don't go and move up for a quarterback, but if they do, it would probably only be 1 or 2 spots to get up to make sure that they could get Tua if they find out that Tua Tagovailoa's medical is where they want it to be and progressing. So it's all going to come down to the medical, the hip injury with Tua Tagovailoa, because if he was completely healthy, if he did not have that hip injury, I think it would be a great debate and discussion between Tua and Burrow for that number 1 overall pick.
Understood, but your partner in crime, Mel Kiper, set off, it gave us an entire show last week from the Combine when he said, if Tua is fully healthy, you take him at 2. Dwayne Haskins or not, all the rest of that. What did you think of that?
I disagree with Mel on a lot of things. If I'm running the Redskins, and I talked to a coach who was thinking about taking the head coaching job there, we had a long discussion about how you run the personnel for the Redskins if you're going to take that job. I would take Tua, and I think you have to upgrade that position. If you're going to get a better quarterback, that's going to just make up for a lot of sins in a lot of other areas that no other position can in football. So to me, you try to upgrade that spot. Haskins has shown some flashes, but Tua Tagovailoa, if healthy, is going to be a better quarterback in the NFL, and I always want to upgrade that position.
I'm reading the look on the face of Dan Orlovsky. Dan, go.
Well, I mean, Todd, if you feel that way, then why don't you have him at 2? Because you still have
Because I completely understand that, but I know that the owner will not allow that to happen. Daniel Snyder's not going to allow you to take Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, so you think that the Washington Redskins not taking Tua is not tied to his medical. It's more tied to Daniel Snyder and Dwayne Haskins?
100%, yes.
I said in October that Jordan Love will be a first-round pick, so I'm with you on that. I want to ask you, because you jumped him up to the 6th pick, is it something that you saw, or is it something that you heard make you make that move and fire him up all the way up to 6 to the Chargers?
The majority of people I've talked to in the NFL think that Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. And I agree. And it takes going back to 2018 and really doing your due diligence to see what Jordan Love is. Now, this doesn't have to be a Herbert versus Love conversation. It can be Tannehill if you want it to be, or Tannenbaum, I'm sorry.
I'll take his money. We're good.
If you're going to shut off my mic, I'm going to call you by the wrong name. No, Jordan Love to me has so much developmental upside. If we had to win a game tomorrow, Herbert's a better quarterback right now. I think Love, if he's in the right system with the right people around him and has a little bit of time to be developed, he's got a chance to be a top-tier starter in the NFL one day. It's going to take the right developing, though. It's going to be interesting to see. But we always see these quarterbacks move up. And if it's not at 6 after Miami's picking at 5, then it's going to be the Panthers after that. In worst case, it's going to be somewhere in that 13 to Indy or 14 to Tampa Bay range. I will be surprised if Jordan Love goes after Justin Herbert. That's just my opinion, and other people have different opinions on it.
Yeah, you've got a $5,000 bet with Mel Kiper, and the ultimate winner of that is the V Foundation. Either way, that money goes to cancer, so that's the good news. Quickly, though, is the word I keep hearing getting attached to Jordan Love, who I will confess I haven't sat here and watched, I'm just listening to you guys talk, is Patrick Mahomes. Is there anything at all to that comparison?
I hate saying it because everyone's going to say, oh, you think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes. There's only one of those in the world. And Dan knows that very well. But the comparison is with the instincts. He's a guy that doesn't want to overly rep and do the same thing over and become mechanical. He just goes off his instincts. And you can see the arm angle changing. Off-platform throws, the ability to extend, those are the comparisons that I see. He's not Mahomes, but he has some of those qualities in him where he can make plays that a lot of other guys can't.
Todd, to me, context is everything here. When we see some other young quarterbacks that have had turnovers, Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold, some of the guys we talked about earlier, he needs to sit and get developed, much the way Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a great player regardless, but he went to an ideal situation, ideal coach, ideal situation where he could sit. I think when you go in the top 6 the way Todd has it projected, my concern is you put him out too soon, you're setting him up for failure and not success.
Absolutely, because they need a quarterback now with Phillip Rivers not there. And I think it would be interesting to think if, or find out if Todd thinks that if Tom Brady, ends up going to the Chargers, do you still feel like a team like that is looking for a quarterback prospect that early?
Well, I just happen to have Todd McShay standing by. Todd, how about that?
I think a situation like that would be perfect because he does need a year. And I remember sitting down with Mahomes after his rookie season, in the offseason, preparing for the preseason with the Chiefs, and he looked at me and he said, I'll be honest with you, it took me about 3 weeks into camp to even figure out who the Mike was, the middle linebacker. And that's the first thing you ID, as Dan well knows. And he's like, we just never had to do that stuff at Texas Tech. It was a very different system. And so I needed this year with Alex Smith. I needed to learn from Alex how he learned. I needed to figure out all the little things. And I needed to have a coaching staff that knew how to develop me. And that's why he's been so successful. I mean, he was a tough watch on tape. If you go back to Mahomes' tape at Texas Tech, the end of the play always worked out, but the beginning was him floating in the pocket, didn't have the right mechanics. But when the second he got drafted by the Chiefs with that coaching staff, with a year to sit with Alex Smith in the quarterback room, we all looked at each other like, yes, it's going to work out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.